scenes in his head, would they make it any more obvious? Where should we look? Which furrow to plough? Where should we go now? A vision of blood, of Geordie do good. That treacherous gnome is more than he seems. Then right before us, we look in disgust. The creature that haunts in Greg Darnell's dreams. It was a satyr girl, it seems we're too late for her. She has expired, we are too late. Was it the potion man, a part of a wicked plan? Geordie do good has sealed his fate. It seems Greg Visions hold some truth, this one has proven so. We must press on and find the cave, into danger we go. Do Geordie and Gekvar conspire? Have we been led astray in dice and desire?
You travel on for another hour. The hills as well start to get a bit bigger as well, it's worth saying. Maybe not quite mountains, but they're sort of, compared to some of the stuff that you've been experiencing up till now, your journey into the hills, these are starting to get a lot larger and a lot more steep. Anything you want to do, or just want to carry on?
I mean, is it worth doing regular perception checks to see if there's anything out of the normal as we continue? Or is it worth or do we think there's going to be anything on the way?
I mean, is there anything that I recognised from any of my visions? Like any rock formations, trees, etc., etc.?
You do actually, yeah. You start seeing some of the berry bushes that the child ate from. Maybe not the specific ones that they ate from, but you certainly notice some similar style flora and fauna.
The berry bushes. Looking at the berries, are they a berry that any of us would recognise?
They are. Yes. Roll me a nature check, I guess.
You said anyone of us, or is that all of us? Okay.
Yeah, if you want
17 for Dweezil.
That's enough. We'll just deal with Dweezil. Yeah, you notice these to be just a blackberry.
Nice.
I don't know if that would grow out here. I don't know. I'm not a berryologist, but I would assume they would. So they don't seem like they'd be poisonous or anything like that.
Do they look ripe?
They look pretty good. Yeah.
No car fumes or anything on them.
There's no cart. No. I don't think there's no or cart fumes. No.
I might have a blackberry. Quinch, blackberry.
I would absolutely love to have a blackberry, as you have just asked me if I would like a blackberry. I would love a blackberry, Dweezil. Thank you for saying that, and I confirm I've heard it, and I'd like one.
Toss him one. Dab off, blackberry.
What he doesn't know is that he is definitely allergic to it, and if he eats one, he may die.
Gregomel, blackberry?
No, I think not. Fruit. God. Unless it's carbs or coffee, I'm not interested.
I'll give it a go.
I toss a couple of nice, juicy, ripe blackberries to the lads.
I catch it in my mouth. Oh.
Dex
I was
check.
going to say, can I have a dex check on that, please?
Right, if it's a natural 1, can it hit him in the eye and blind him?
Can Dweezil roll a strength check to see how hard he threw it?
12.
12, okay. It hits you on the nose, but luckily you sort of manage to it bounces up and then it manages to fall into your mouth and you manage to get the blackberry.
Did anyone see that? That was pretty cool.
In terms of the blackberries, they taste a little bitter.
These blackberries taste a little bitter.
Okay, thank you. They're pretty fresh, pretty juicy,
They
but
didn't
they are.
like that. I've got to obviously let them know.
Well, they're eating blackberries as well, mate. You're not the only person that's eating.
Not everyone's eating it.
Well, thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome, Greg. You're already missing out. Are there any more? Greg, have a blackberry.
No, I hear they're not all that sweet, so not interested.
Yeah, of course you heard. I just told you. There's no other way you could have possibly known.
This conversation's added another year onto SK2. Right.
Anyway, it looks like we're going the right direction, so I think we should carry on.
Okay. Another advantage survival +2. Bish bash bosh.
First one is a 4.
Oh, God.
Second one is an 11 plus 2 plus 2 makes it 15.
Okay. Obviously, you're not necessarily matching this up against anything. It's not like you have a mind-eye map or anything like that. But you do definitely get the sense you're headed in the right direction. In fact, as you're heading through, you actually see a hill, and you're pretty certain that in one of your visions it matches something you would have seen, albeit maybe at a slightly different angle. If you imagine that the child was coming sort of in the opposite direction of you, it looks very much, maybe it's you're passing one out to the east, you sort of see it and you think, oh, okay, I can imagine that's what I would have seen in my memory. It's just getting, like I say, it's getting wilder and wilder. You actually sort of see a few large footprints. If someone could roll me a nature or survival, if someone's got that better.
A 9 overall.
Anyone else want to give it a
Yeah,
go?
I've got 17 on nature there. 17.
You would probably hazard a guess that this is some sort of giant footstep.
Ooh.
And there's a few others. Like there's a particularly deep one, which is the one you notice. But then, as you sort of realise what it might be, you sort of look to the side and you see a few that maybe don't sink as quite as deep and quite as noticeable. But obviously, it makes you realise that there could be giants around here. Another survival, please. Unless there's anything anyone wants to do at this point.
Does it look like the footprint may belong to my good friend Ildema? What's her name?
Does it look like that giant you met that one time?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
I'm not
Bigger,
even going to make you roll
smaller,
for it. I mean,
rough size?
There is absolutely no way that you could guess whether this was a specific giant that you once met.
That's where you're wrong, because Greg obviously has a foot fetish, so he studied the giant's foot in detail.
Right, okay. No, then. It doesn't...
Okay, sure.
It doesn't look like hers. If there's nothing else, give me another survival advantage plus 2.
Just how I pronounce the name, because I can't remember how the hell it was.
Ildemain, wasn't it?
Ildemain.
The fire giant.
Okay, the first one is a 17. The next one is a natty 20.
A natty 20. Talk to me how you find a cave in the hills.
Ooh. Well, this is what's weird, because I personally don't really find it. You see, what actually happens is my broom, obviously, that's just always flying around, Smarg, has kind of noticed it himself somehow, and he's kind of come up to me, and he's kind of prodded me from behind to follow this certain direction.
I'm going to ignore the fact that your broom isn't a sentient being that can see and understand and prod you.
I'm sorry, Mr. DM. Do you make the rules? Oh wait.
No. I mean, I've allowed Krill to produce household items from somewhere, some sort of ethereal plane. So I'll allow it for creativity's sake. But yes, you.
No, I'll tell you what. I will just drink a Crimson Bullock, which will obviously sharpen my senses. And then that's when I notice that this footpath looks familiar, and I start picking up the pace, going, "It's this way! It's this way!" All excitedly.
So yeah, you pick up the pace. You start running. You start, heading in what you feel is the right direction. And yes, you crest over this hill, and as you're coming over, you actually you don't see it directly in front of it. It's actually as you're sort of coming over the hill, you actually notice that the hill sort of has a bit of a sharper drop than you would normally anticipate. And it's only from there that you sort of start investigating and you realise that actually there's a mouth to a cave here. It's quite big. It's not necessarily big enough to fit, say, a giant in or anything of that size. But I mean, in terms of your height, if you imagine, I think Krill's the tallest at about 7 foot.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, this is probably about somewhere between 10 and 15 foot high. Wide enough probably to fit two to three people through at a time.
Can Quinch open his wings to get through? Like, is he going to be able to fly through?
Probably not. Probably Quinch wouldn't be able to fly through. No.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame, isn't it? Just. What do you want to do?
Does that mean Quinch has obviously got to stop doing his bodybuilder walk as well and actually just walk normally? I imagine he does that walk, when he's got the shoulders out swinging them.
I'm too big to fit through, Krill. Look at that. Are you too big to fit through, or you fit just fine? Okay.
I look at Quinch and go, we're still both outside the cave. I don't know how you've made that assessment.
I'm good at visual dynamics.
He's just got his wings out, and he's just like a cat with whiskers. He's just seeing if he can get fit through.
The cave itself, is it completely dark, or is there torches lighting the way, or
dark, mate? Proper
I have dark vision.
I mean, I definitely don't.
Proper dark. Like it is. So in terms of day, you're probably looking at this point. You've been around the hills for quite a few hours now. We're probably looking around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Very bright out. Very few cloud in the sky. It's a lovely bright day. You can obviously see just about inside the cave mouth. You can see you can see the stone and everything leading in, but then it gets very dark very quickly, and you can't really make out any detail in there whatsoever.
Do we wish to create a scene and try to draw something out, or do we wish to enter as stealthily as we can? We've tried to enter dark caves before stealthily. It doesn't work because those of us without dark vision have very poor concept of the passing of time. And after maybe 15 seconds, start to get bored and come in making loads of noise with lanterns.
We just don't have a good history with caves, to be fair.
No. Oh, God, no. Dweezil.
I mean, in my visions as well, I did remember the child being attacked from multiple directions by multiple beings, so there's definitely something in there waiting for us.
Vin? What about Vin?
We could do the classic Vin Weasel safety checks.
Does Vin have dark vision?
Great question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Let me talk about things while I stall for time and search.
Do you have the light spell, Gregomel?
Well,
yeah, it's a bit obvious now, isn't it?
Yeah, but if
we
send a glow in the dark weasel,
light spell as of such. But perhaps I could use my trusty hat to
correct.
perform a cantrip.
Yeah. Greg could touch the weasel.
He does not have dark vision.
Greg could touch the weasel, make the weasel light up, send the weasel in, perform the safety checks.
Yeah.
You don't sound keen, Daboff.
I mean, it kind of would alert them to our presence, I guess.
It'd alert them to the presence of a small glow-in-the-dark weasel.
Which, of course, wouldn't be suspicious at all. Yeah, if that's what people want to do, I'll send Vin in. All aglow.
I mean, I'm fine with this as long as I can kind of make him glow. So let me just check what cantrip.
I'll just set him on fire if need be.
Oh yeah, fine. I've got a couple of fire spells.
He's got like 1 hit point, so he might make it to the entrance.
He'd last 6 seconds if he rolls higher initiative.
With my new flammable flame touch ability. So yeah.
You want to set him on fire?
Let's not.
I have the cantrip of light I can do on him if my hat allows me to.
Have you used it today?
I haven't used it today. No.
You can certainly try and set Vin on fire.
No.
Not on fire, on light. Set him on light.
Yeah, I just wanted to give light a quick read just to see what it actually does to make sure it is actually.
Doesn't it give like 20-foot light or something?
Light is a cantrip, 1 hour. Touch an object no larger than 10 feet and any.
Is Vin an object?
20 foot. 20
touch
foot.
Vin's high vis.
Yeah, we'll shine a torch in and
This
it'll
light
reflect
can
off
be
his high vis
coloured as
jacket.
you like. I'm going to colour the light black.
Very useful.
A black light, you can see those are stains on Quinch.
Oh,
Can you make it strobe?
Oh, possibly. Alright, let's see if I can do the hat then. So, roll in to see if I can use my hat, which is anything from 10 up. I'm afraid we are instantly in the shitter because it's a 5. Oh!
No. So you can't use light if you don't have it as one of your cantrips.
No, but I do have a inspiration point from you I could use to possibly reroll
God.
this. Let's do it! Reroll! Inspiration!
A rare inspiration point being used to use light as a cantrip.
16.
Okay, you are allowed to use.
Is it arsehole-ish to say you'd already told him the result before he decided to use it?
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
it's
there was
fair.
any results said.
he knows the DC on it, doesn't he? So,
Yeah, and also I think 5 would fail almost anything.
but also, yeah, it is our soulish. Yeah.
No. The cantrip. Sorry, the roll's not for the cantrip
Insane.
anyway. The roll was for if I could use my hat to do the ability. My hat's ability,
yeah.
I have to roll
Just
higher
cut
than
out
a
me
10.
being an arse, to be fair.
Yeah, I just said it in twice.
That's, Luke, you said if you could cut out the last 18 months of podcasts, thanks.
Anchor.
Well, the first 45 minutes of this one.
Okay, so you use light. What are you using light on?
The weasel.
He's not an object.
Isn't he?
I'm using it on the weasel's jacket, hat. What does he have?
You can wrap a bit of string around him and make it glow. Like,
Yeah, that'll do.
I want to take the armour off of Mr. Mosey, put it on the weasel.
I mean, there should be some checks involved in him trying this. Like,
Strap Mr. Mosey onto the back of Vin.
Right, let's just tie a like a ribbon round Vin's head like a bandana.
He's got a head torch now. I like it.
Can you give him an eye patch like the Ice Age, Simon Pegg Ice Age character?
'Cause if there's one thing I want on a glowing item, it's right in his eye.
Well, if it's like an eye patch, then it'd be over his eye.
you
So
could literally strap a coin to his forehead. Like,
I've got some rope. I'll tie some rope and put it around his neck, and just like a little collar.
I've got some ink. Can I cover him in ink and then make the ink glow?
after 10 minutes of standing outside the cave, somebody comes out.
Just sees us pissing around with a weasel.
We're not doing nothing.
Brilliant.
Okay, yeah, a bit of string or ribbon or whatever, that's fine.
We could have just tied a lantern to him at this point.
Yeah, the lantern can fall off. This can't fall off.
Fair. Yeah. Glowing rope,
If you say so.
glowing collar. That'll do.
Yeah,
All
it's got a colour on it. It's glowing. It's glowing neon pink, just to verify the colour that it's going to.
Nice.
And what's the plan, sorry? So once you've done this,
Great question. Glad you asked. What do you think the plan is, Nate?
I don't know. I think at the moment you've just turned him into some sort of glow stick.
I reckon everyone should hide, and I'll just have Vin scurry in, have a look around, see what he can see what he can hear.
In neon pink.
With his neon pink thing.
How brightly
Nice.
does it glow? Like, is it
Oh, very.
20 feet. Only 20,
20 feet? That's a lot.
Start. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. 20 feet is it?
It's
Yeah.
20 feet.
That's like
yeah.
a torch on legs.
This is a lot of preparation, considering Vin is just going to get smashed flat the second he goes in that cave. He is just going to die straight away.
Triggers a trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Vin will scurry in, all the while being a bit cautious and seeing what he can see and hear.
V.
At least if he dies, whatever the collar will still glow in the middle of the room for 20 minutes.
Oh, good point.
An hour, not 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 20 foot, wasn't it? Yeah. So if he dies, the collar's still there, like glowing.
Right. Roll 20. I have moved you onto a new map.
Oh.
You
Very
maybes.
Very fortunately, you are on roll 20 and already prepared for that.
It's fine.
So hopefully you can just see a small little rectangle with your characters at the bottom.
Yeah, I had to zoom out to find it, but yes.
Yep. So obviously Vin is on there. Can you move him, Luke?
Yep.
Awesome. Right.
But
you can't move. You can't see where he's gone now, can you?
Nope.
There we go. I'll put him back. So is that where you wanted him? Is he just scurrying in on his own?
Yes. So he's just gonna have a bit of a scurry in. I don't know where I've just moved him to.
Right. Okay. So that's fine. Yeah. So he can only see 20 foot ahead and around. Right. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, presumably he doesn't have dark vision or anything.
Yeah, so just be 20 foot.
But he
squared away.
does have advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or smell, so he can hear presumably further than he can see.
Right. Okay. As Vin walks in, he sees a number of creatures just sort of like milling about the place.
Just chilling. Milling and chilling.
Just chilling.
Netflix and mill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can I have a stealth check from Vin? At disadvantage because he's walked in with a shining,
bright
shining
pink
light
necklace
on his head.
Yeah.
Presumably, those of us with dark vision can see these milling creatures.
Good point, actually. Probably Krill can at this point. He probably could theoretically. I mean, ignore the map. The beginning, the entrance of the map. It's just I didn't go that far. Let's, for argument's sake, that actually you're probably a few feet below. Let's say you're far enough away that Krill wouldn't have been able to see it.
Right.
There's a bit of a lead-in, sort of like passageway that would have got you to this point if you'd walked up to it.
Has Krill got better dark vision than me?
Have you got dark vision as well? Yeah, of course you have. What are you, 60 foot?
Yeah.
60
Yeah,
foot also, yeah.
I think 60 foot's the general prevailing
yeah.
standard, isn't it? So yeah, theoretically, you're not where it looks like you are.
Okay.
We're still outside the cave, aren't we?
Yeah, you're still outside the cave, but I just didn't go that far back down the thing. So yeah, there's probably sort of 50 foot or so of cave entrance until you get to this point at the bottom of the map.
Cool.
So Vin would have just gone scurrying in. Yes, Vin, stealth, please.
Even with disadvantage, he's still got 18.
I suspect that's probably enough. Let me just double check.
He's a very stealthy.
Yeah, he gets
little
+5,
bastard.
and I rolled a 15 and a 13, so it was either 20 or 18.
Saving throws.
Vin should have his own cartoon show.
Yeah, no, almost certainly succeeds. So he gets in there, and despite the fact that he's stood in the middle of a room with what I can only describe as some sort of torch around his neck, the creatures in there don't actively notice him at the moment to where he's got to. Nothing right now. They do nothing right now.
Presumably Dabov's kind of controlling him.
I was going to say, you looking through his eyes.
Yeah, so I'm going to report back to the group and just say what he can see.
How does it work? Is it like flying like a drone, or are you like having an out-of-body experience? Like,
I think it's kind of like an out-of-body thing. I can't see or hear from
so you've got
Dabov's
to
point of
blip
view.
back and forth.
Yeah, so I think if I just sort of tell Vin to just stay where he is while I momentarily pop out, pop to the shops. So I'll just
Back in a minute, pal. Wait here.
Yeah, so I'll keep Vin exactly where he is and just tell the rest of the group what I can see. What can I see?
Is there out of interest? Is there a distance that you can control him up to?
Let's have a look.
So, i.e., can you only maybe go 100 foot or something like that? I don't want him to necessarily, or rephrase that. I don't want to get to a position where you could just
100 feet.
100 feet. So you've done about 50. So the reality is, I don't know if it will ping up here, but the reality is you could probably get, let's say where your tokens are is about 50 foot. You can get to about, I don't know, would it ping if you see it here? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can probably get as far as that with Vin before.
It's quite far.
I've just checked my talk with my familiar thing. I can communicate telepathically with it, and I can also see through its eyes and hear what it hears. So at the moment, I'm just communicating telepathically rather than controlling him directly, and just kind of having a conversation. So he sees what he sees and tells me when I tell the group, rather than dipping in and out.
Okay. You can. So you want to say? Did you say what can he see?
Yeah. So Dabov's going to ask Vin, "What can you see?"
Okay, so he can see essentially with his
Eyes.
viewpoint here, with his eyes. He can see two. We'll ignore the fact that actually you as people can probably see a third, but he can see two quite small humanoid creatures. When I say small, they're sort of around sort of 3-4 foot tall. They are sort of stood upright, but not really doing anything. They're sort of just I'm going to say swaying, but they're not sort of doing it rhythmically or sort of chanting or anything like that. But they're just sort of like just stood there, sort of not really, almost zoned out, should we say?
I'm going to ask Dabov's going to ask the rest of the guys. Do you want me to try and lure them out, or are we going in?
I think, based on what you've told us, Vin can see, I think we're as well to make our way in. I think we might be able to.
Or do you want me to send Vin in a bit further, just see if there's any more?
I don't want to risk Vin Dabov.
I mean, he is just, as much as, I do like him, he is just a familiar that can be recast at any point. Like, he's just a spell slot, essentially. Like,
Vin dies a little bit inside, and he loses 3 hit points.
Oh, well, that's him straight dead then.
We're still.
He got one.
Recast.
Presumably it's the same familiar each time. Like, it's still the same spirit, I guess.
I don't think so.
I think I can speak for myself, Greg Amell, Quinch, and the listeners to the Dice and Desire podcast, say that he might just be a spell slot to you, but to us, he's a valued member of the circus.
Yeah. Judging by the thing on people on Twitter, people fucking love him. Regularly gets brought up. People are always asking where's Vin. When are we going to see more Vin? How's Vin doing? What's he doing right now? Like, just can't shut him up.
I haven't seen any of those twits. Twits, brilliant. For fuck's sake. God. 35.
Right, are you sending him further in, or are you going to make your way in and just do a thing?
I think we should stealth our way in.
Yeah, let's stealth
wasn't
in.
included in the list of people that care about tweets. Why was I not included in Dweezil's list of people that care about the weasel?
I don't think I can speak for you when it comes to thinking about others.
Also, you've got enough with Mosey and Sebastian in your hands. I think you've got enough. Where is Sebastian out of interest?
Yeah,
Yeah. Can we put some rope around his neck and send him in?
Sebastian pops his head out and goes, looks at. Yeah.
I'm somewhere.
Yeah. He's always with us. Probably
so do you want me to bring
to be fair.
Vin back?
Let's send him in. Worst case scenario, Pop goes to the weasel. It's fine.
Oh,
Brilliant. Yeah, he's going to take like a 10-foot, just creep his way in. So a little bit further, see if you can see just a little bit further.
Shall I light my torch if we're going in? Or shall I hold someone with dark vision's hand?
Do you know what? I think it's probably safe enough to light a torch, mate. Are you happy? Are you going to be happy if we get through this without a fight?
Yes, of course.
Krill, are you going to be happy if we get through this without a fight?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I have no issue.
As Vin creeps ever so slightly further into the cave, he sees another 2 more bodies doing the same sort of thing, really, sort of just almost absent-mindedly, sort of just looking bored, really, just sort of waiting there.
They're not being aggressive towards Vin in any way, then.
No, he moved ever so slightly, and not enough to necessarily really kick off any stealth problems. He's only a little weasel, isn't he? So they certainly haven't been alerted to his presence at this point.
So as we're outside the cave, Quinch grabs one of his torches and he uses the brand new ability Storm Soul of the Desert to set fire to his torch.
Does that hurt anyone?
Is that going to do damage to all of us around you, or? No,
it just lets me. I can set fire to something flammable if I touch it.
Nice.
So you're just a walking
light. Set fire
in
to my torch as well, then.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You set fire to my torch. Any day.
Would anyone else like their torch doing? This is fun. I'm a fire starter.
Pretty sure the rest of us can see just fine.
Yeah, I think the rest of us have dark vision.
Oh. I was just looking at Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and there's a section in there about barbarians with tattoos.
Interesting. Nice.
Any about retconned ones?
This up later?
Shame there's none of them about giant runes. But there you go.
Rumour is
That's
it
fine. Let's
makes
find a tattoo.
the wearer of the tattoo looks like an absolute tit, but it does give them giant strength, so that's the payoff.
Oh God, I don't know if you take it or not. Right, what are you doing? Are you going in? So yeah, presumably Dabov would have relayed to the rest of you that he saw a couple of extra bodies in there.
I can see 4. Can Vin hear any others in like the distance?
What does he have? Perception? What does he?
He has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. I'm guessing he can't smell how many people there is, so I'm going to go on hearing.
Yeah, so roll a perception check then, please.
Wow, that advantage was pointless. I've rolled 2 17s. And perception plus 3, so yeah, that's 20.
So you said not about the smelling, but yeah, I mean he's in there, and I don't know what a weasel's sensitivity is to smell, but he can tell that it smells pretty bad in there, pretty rank. In terms of perception of hearing, he can hear more bodies. He probably can't at this point really dictate how many bodies there are, but he definitely can hear that there's more further on. Just a few sort of just not imperceivable because he obviously can perceive them, but they're just sort of slight sounds.
But it doesn't sound like there's like a whole crowd of them shuffling, like hundreds.
He's not. Yeah, he's certainly not hearing anything along those lines. No.
Cool. What I'm going to do is tell Vin to kind of push the rope off his neck, leave it on the floor to light up that little cave area that he's in, and then come back, I think.
Okay. Is that a trick that you've been showing him how to do?
Presumably he knows how to just fuck something off that's on him. He's not stupid.
A minute ago he was just a spell slot, and now he's a genius.
He can take instruction. Like, oi, that thing around your neck that's lighting you up like a fucking candle. How about you don't wear that anymore?
Okay.
I'm afraid I double knotted it. There's no way he's getting that off.
Oh, well, he strangled himself then, and he's just straight up dead.
The
Okay.
weasel laying on his back trying to wrestle his collar off.
Didn't have to put a bell on it, Greg. That was just mean.
Can I have a sleight of hand from Vin?
Sleight of hand. Right. His abilities are not the clearest. So what's that? Dexterity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleight of weasel, okay. That is, fuck me, 7.
He struggles. He's struggling to get it off. I mean, he's making some headway, but it's not by him. He's not just like slipped off a hoopla or anything like that. Hula hoop, even. What's a hoopla? He's not slipped off a hula hoop or anything like that. So yeah, he's struggling. He's trying to get it off, but he's not doing successfully. And you're slightly worried that the longer he does it, the more commotion he's going to start making in there.
Okie dokie, I'm just going to instruct him to just lie down then. And
play dead.
Yep. Pretty much.
Still glowing.
But I would suggest we make our way in, and whilst we're not going to try and necessarily sneak past things, we try and
Not
just
engage
walk
things?
in. No, we don't engage.
So I said not engage.
We just walk in, and we just walk on through, like.
Why don't we mimic that? Why don't we copy what they're doing? Walk how they walk.
Stand around looking.
It's not freaking Shaun of the Dead. We can't just walk in
Thriller
there.
starts.
This sounds like Quinch's absolute forte, copying someone else and being useless.
Yes, maybe I should go first.
Or second.
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should just walk through.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared of a 3 foot tall shambling thing.
Thank you so much for listening to Dice and Desire. If you were
Hello, Quinch, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd help out with the promo.
No, Quint, no, come on. You're just going to talk about random place names that don't exist.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk to you about my adventures in Valaquanth, the very best that the Tendering Meadows has to offer.
God, if you have to be here, at least read this out.
Okay, what have we got here? Leave us a review on Apple or Podchaser.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. It's pronounced Apple, but that was fine. Now read this bit.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search Dyson Desire.
I'm actually very surprised that was all pronounced correctly. Thanks, Quinch. Thank you guys for listening. Do exactly as Quinch said and help us out in those various ways. And we look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon.
Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.